mornings, Matt and I will be talking with Jose Ignacio Diaz about strategies for navigating layoffs and the intersection of technology and business. So, Jose, you're really seasoned CTO, I would say. You work in tech for a pretty long time. How many years is it already?
18, I think.
18 years.
Yes, I believe so, yeah.
So you are adult now, let's say, in tech, we could say.
Yes. So adult.
You are Spanish, but you worked in Amsterdam, really hot scene, especially for the startups a while ago, as we discussed it. And now for 8 years, you're in Switzerland and we are in Zurich. And we were discussing a really interesting thing because you told me that Zurich is like the innovation hub here. Mm-hmm. And maybe you could tell more about it, why this is innovation hub. Because my understanding, another thing was, it's really hard to launch something here, especially startup, because market is so small. But I'm wrong.
Well, Switzerland is very special because we have the DACH region for us. So we are reaching to Germany, Austria, and especially in Zurich, there is some population with a lot of profiles and different backgrounds and tons and tons of nationalities that they come together to build new things. So what you're going to find here is a lot of hunger for building new products, new ideas that they can change the life of people. And there is a culture of doing that. There is a lot of support, especially from VCs and the community. And there is no fear for failing. So that's together creates the perfect conditions for people to start spinning off companies and products.
And you told there's a lot of headquarters, right, of a big corporations here.
Yes. So when we talk about addressable market and we say but how come? Because Switzerland is so small and the population is so specific. And actually we have 4 different official languages here. We have, as we said, a lot of headquarters of corporations and branches of big companies that you can reach out, and they are very, very open to listen to you, to your product, and to try out, and to start testing if what you can offer is actually a solution for them. So it's very small, but there is a lot of big companies here located in Zurich.
And there is a big recession last year, a lot of layoffs in tech, a lot of changes on the market, focus on the productivity. This 2024, it's kind of a weird year because I see a mix of positive signals and negative signals. Nobody will know how the year will, evolve.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, how do you see it from your perspective, Switzerland, because you are here quite a while. Mm-hmm. Do you feel affected by those layoffs, by the financing from the VCs?
Yes. So I think that the main problem is that there is a lot of talent that has lost their positions in big companies and in small companies. So just to name a few, it's Google, Facebook, they lay off people, but also affected small companies. So you have 5 people and you need to fire, economically speaking, 2. It's a huge portion of your company, and there is no a lot of money coming into the market from the business. It's not so easy to rise and to right now and to start with a good seed money, let's call it. And also the companies are not able to generate such amount of incomes where they can afford to hire with risk or to pay the salaries that the people should be paid. So therefore the companies are hiring externally, so they are reaching out to external developers, which is also very good, but there is a lot of population inside where cannot find a place, so it's difficult to find a place. The competition is higher. So I think we are experiencing a moment where there is so many people in the market, not so many positions, and I think a lot of people is just working remotely outside Switzerland, and that's a good thing for us because we can find places, but it's a difficult situation right now.
Are you optimistic about this year, next year?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very I'm super optimistic. Yeah, because tech is something that changes constantly, and it's I believe it's not the last time, not the first time that we are experiencing this situation. And I think there is going to be a moment, especially with the introduction of AI technologies, where new products are being born, where it's evident that you need a lot of money, even this because it's super expensive, and there is a lot of talent. So I think in the moment, especially in Switzerland, in the moment that the companies are going to see that there is a lot of talent and a lot of products that can be born here in Zurich, and money is going to come again. Companies are going to be able to produce revenue, and people is going to be hired back, even from the outside. I don't think there will be enough people here to supply the demand of what I think we are going to expect to have.
One more interesting thing that you told me is about the letting go people here. That's pretty easy. Like in my, I was always thinking like I put the DACH region right in one bucket. So I think Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, and it's super hard to fire somebody. So it's really costly to hire people and fire people. But you told us completely the opposite, right?
Yes. So in Switzerland, usually the standard contract is something like once you pass your probation period, so it's usually between 1 and 3 months, then you have your notice period, which usually go from 1, 2 to 3 months as well. And once you, for example, has to take the company needs to take the decision to let go someone, you just have to give the notice to the person. The reason usually is behind a reason, either performance or economically speaking, and that's basically it. You don't need. I know well the German market, and you don't need to pass through all the checks and why you are letting go someone.
Maybe we could talk a bit more about your new venture, because this is interesting. Beso is the name, right?
Beso.
And you are really excited about the innovation and the AI. So there is like a part of the AI there.
Yes.
Maybe you could tell a few words, because I think you haven't talked before to anybody. You are in a still mode, more or less.
Yes, I'm in a still mode, yes. So Beso is actually, first thing is an amazing group of people that come together thanks to Philip, the CEO, that make this possible to make these people to come together. And second, we are solving a real problem in the world. So there is everyone heard about the trading wars between countries, and with the help of AI and machine learning, we are able to solve the tariff problems that companies have when they are sending different goods around the world. So our solution will save literally billions to these companies. Faster, cheaper, better. That's true. So yes, we are still developing the software, and we are talking with the first clients that we are having. But it's a super exciting opportunity, again, super innovative. The landscape in Switzerland of companies like this is almost non-existent, and it's a crazy idea. It's very ambitious, and I don't know if it will be possible to be done in any other country than Switzerland and the US, to be honest. Again, because we have a lot of backgrounds here inside. So we have people from Greece, from Spain. We have a lot of nationalities inside with a lot of expertise. come together. And I think this is essential for developing great products, to have a lot of different mindsets inside.
So you are not the CTO for the first time, and I'm always wondering what are the hardest things in this role that nobody is maybe talking widely about it, like so open about it, that we don't see from the outside.
I think it's, to be honest, the mental resilience that you need to have, because you have working with you, a lot of, let's say, developers in tech or data scientists or designers, where they have their own personal problems with their families, with their lives. So what I try to do, and I think many people like me is also doing it, is I try to understand how this person feels in their normal life, in order that when we are developing or when we are working together, is not a stone on the way. So it's not a problem for this person to work. So getting to know what is happening to everyone, keeping it for yourself, and trying to channel different solutions for members of your team it's really tough mentally. I experienced that. You can mitigate that, but I think no one is really talking about that.
And I have a feeling that you are really close to the business, right? When we talk about the Besso, you talk about like the goal of having the contracts with the clients, right?
Yes.
You are a tech leader, but you are thinking like about the business, and you want to affect the business because this is the main thing, which I think it's great. But especially in those small startups or like small companies, I have a feeling, and what I saw before, that non-tech people, like business people, are really not getting along with the tech people or tech leaders, right? It's really hard to find the common knowledge to understand each other problems or visions, and why something takes so much time and how to approach it. Like, why do you think it's so, and how to solve it, or how do you solve it in your case?
I think it's hard because there needs to be a will to understand, first of all. Once there is a will to understand, and once there is a understanding from your own, what are your capabilities? So I work with lawyers, and I really don't know law, right? In any way, I may think I know, I don't. So if the lawyer is telling to me what has to happen, I 100% trust this person. And then you introduce the element of trust. So how I try to solve it is, once I communicate with the team or with one of the teams, and they explain to me what's going on, technically speaking, to a level that I understand it. What's the problem? Why we cannot solve it earlier? What's going on? I try to explain that to the truck owner, to the CEO, and actually to the rest of the management. Which is the problem that we are experiencing, in simple or more simple words. And if they want to understand more, technically speaking, we hold a separate meeting where we show and tell. So look, this is happening here, that is why it's happening. So I try to get the whys of what's going on very, very, very clear, that they can trust it into 100%. And this whys usually is what you have to tell the client afterwards. Because I haven't met a client that is going to just eat you alive because you didn't arrive to the deadline that you had, unless you didn't tell this person, why it's happening. But usually it's very comprehensive. The people are very comprehensive when they know why, right? Because tech is not something linear. It's just one day something works very well, the next day something goes wrong, and you don't know how long it's going to take you to solve it. So once people understand why, it's is really okay.
But I have such a feeling like this is really clear. I fully agree with that. But I feel that this like simple explanation and understanding the business perspective, because I'm engineer, like I'm engineer, but I work more in the business area.
Yeah.
And what I notice, especially, for instance, with the tech leaders, when they are starting, they are lacking this soft skills, kind of like to find the common language of the business, right?
Yes.
And it takes some time to kind of develop it.
Yes, I think you need. So, I first of all, you need to have in my opinion, you need to have a lot of interest on that, because once you understand that the clients that you have, users or business-to-business clients, is the people that you are working for, right? That's without them, you don't have anything. So once you get to that mentality that, the rest of the company, so the product owner or the chief product officer or the CEO, what they are trying to do is to sell what you are trying to build. So you need to understand, because it's true that I met a lot of, especially when I started, a lot of developers, a lot of tech people, which they are annoyed by the changes that are happening. And don't get me wrong, I understand it. But you need to develop the skill, you need to develop the mentality that you are not living in an island, and what you are doing is actually going to be used by someone, which is amazing. So you need to try to channel that knowledge that you have, the client has a pain, or is going to have it, to your developers or to the tech team, and to say, look, I know that, that's not what we talked 2 months ago, or not what we talked 1 month ago, but the market has changed. The client has changed. And there is nothing that you can do. You can, complain and do something wrong and do it fast and dirty, but that is going to harm you, because if we don't have money, you cannot work, and it's going to basically harm all your colleagues. So, because everyone will be affected by your decision of doing something fast, dirty, and break the company. So this is the mentality that you need to develop, and also be super calm. You need to be very calm. You need to understand that everyone is going to have a problem, and that IT is going to have to solve it. So you need to, live with that. Be calm.
I think this like a really good two tips. Be calm, and like the client is your end kind of user, right?
Yes.
You're building the stuff for the client, not for the CEO or for the sales guy, right?
Yes.
But for the client. So to have it in mind.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, and you work in a pretty distributed environment, right? Because you before work with some outsourcing companies outside, like the really distributed teams. Do you have some lessons learned how to make it work? Like some tips to other? What works for you?
Yeah, so I work with people in different countries, remote, for a very long time. So for me, it's not new. What is happening now is I live like this since forever, and in different time zones as well. 5 hours before, 5 hours ahead, 8. And there is something, in my opinion, there is something super important. And it's like, you need to have the right communication tools, and you need to encourage communication at all levels. What I mean is that sometimes I think people lose perspective when they get in the title the C or the management, and somehow they just close themselves to a direct communication with a junior developer working in Manila, right? And that is absolutely wrong. You need to tell everyone that you are reachable 24/7 for them. So they are in different time zones, and you need to know where the time zones are for them, and you need to be reachable. So your job is, in my opinion, as a CTO of a distributed team, is 24/7. It's unfortunate, but it's like that. And the second thing is that you need to give to the people the absolute trust that they can work anywhere, anytime they want. And you are not going to go behind them to ask them, what did you do yesterday at 3 p.m.? Because I have seen that, and that's wrong. So once the people have the freedom to choose their work, their working hours, even the meetings, right? Even, for example, having a stand-up, the people call it a stand-up, so the meetings to check up between team members and locations. If someone writes to you, happens to me, look, I'm stuck in traffic, I may not be able to join the meeting, that's okay. Really, there is no need, there is absolutely no need to be everyone together all the time talking. We will talk asynchronously later. So if you are able to solve communication, you have 90% of the job done. Because then the rest is to be able to give clear definitions of the features and tasks that the people needs to do, and as well give them the power to be back to you with what you told me doesn't make any sense. I do not understand it. And there is nothing like the development day is lost. And I know that because I've been a junior developer myself for many years. So sometimes you develop a lot in 8 hours, sometimes you develop nothing, because it's not a day-to-day, it's really like a long way. So you need to create that kind of trust, like I trust you, I know that you are doing your best, and I trust your decisions. Take them because I am sleeping. Yes, right. So this is the. It works very well for me, to be honest. I have met wonderful people everywhere, absolutely, and the result of it is that when I start a new venture, I can call them back and say, like, look, do you want to work with me, or do you want to do this together? And people know that this way of working is absolutely amazing. It's compatible with their lives, so they say yes.
But you mentioned the interesting thing about people are really open to communicate, right? They are open to communicate with you, to talk with you, and you need to encourage people. But to be honest, like I run this organization, like that. I have a company based in Poland. We have 100 people, and I do it for almost 9 years. And I have a feeling that I'm really open person, really down to earth. If I go for the integration party, nobody will know that I'm one of the co-founders because I'm really down to earth. But I still have a problem that when I onboard people and I encourage them, I have like a quick talk about the company, and I encourage them, hey, this is my calendar. Just pick whatever time slot you want. You can always like reach out to me. I'm not like a proactive, I'm really bad at it, but you can always like put a calendar meeting in my calendar. And I even like share some tips, like I try to give the insights, like to give the context why we are doing something on a chat. I prefer a sync way of communication, right? And then still I have a feeling that it's really hard for them to reach out to me because of the position that is on the paper. Right?
Yes.
So I'm just wondering how in your case, how do you approach it, you know?
Yes, so to the other members of the company which are not in tech, I tell them to book my calendar, like you do. I'm sure they will listen to this and will say, well, why are you doing that? Yes, so to them I do that, but to the members of tech, of IT, I have never say this to anyone yet. So I gave them my phone number. I gave them a Slack, my mail, and I don't ask them to book. I say, just write to me at any time you want. It doesn't matter. You can write to me at 6 a.m, a Slack sentence, or you can write to me, you can send me a text message, or you can call me. Even if I'm on holidays, even if I'm driving, whatever, reach out. I'm going to be back to you, and I'm going to talk to you. You don't need to book a calendar for me. And what I do is, at the beginning, I reach out a lot to the people myself. So, are you okay? How is it going? How did you do that? Some people are way more open, and this comes with the personality. Some people are more introverts, and they prefer to, different kind of communications. But in general lines, this has worked for me very, very well. So today I woke up and I had 2 messages that someone sent me at 6:05 in the morning, and I reply at 8, and it's probably write to me later. There is a lot of asynchronous communication happening, and then sometimes very synchronous. But I don't ask anyone to book a calendar for me in the tech team. Never.
Interesting. But I think this proactive approach that you mentioned, like at the very beginning, you asked the question, so you are really proactive on your own, right?
Yes.
And this encourage maybe the people to get back to you, right?
Yes, because, I come from being the last person in the tech team many years ago, like intern stuff, right? And I went step by step, and I saw what I didn't want, right? So then I met great CTOs, to be honest, that they show me a little bit of the light of, all right, that's possible. So if I will join a company as an intern that I just finished my studies, or I'm finishing my studies, I would like that the person that is supposed to be the head and leader of the city of the tech is gonna come to me and tell me, look, I trust you, take your own decisions, reach out for help to me or any one of the team members, and it doesn't cost you anything to say like few words a day, or to reach out to someone if it's okay. It's like saying good morning in the to your neighbors. Doesn't cost you anything, right? So, and it makes a lot of difference. So that's what I try.
I always like to ask hard questions. So I'm wondering, in case of your career, what was the hardest thing that you have ever done in tech as a tech leader? Maybe the hardest challenge, not the technical challenge, but maybe with people. If you could tell about it and what you have learned from it.
Well, perhaps one of the hardest things was a company I joined, and before joining the company, I hired a backend developer. I was joining as a CTO. I hired a backend developer, and actually this person joined before me. So let's say I started on the 1st of September, and this person joined on 1st of August. But there was a team in place in that company already. But when I arrived, the backend developer told me that everyone was being very harsh with him, and there was a team lead that it was being very, very hard to work with, didn't really communicate with him, and so forth and so on. So when I arrived, I checked out the team, and I found very, very hard to manage people. So the company had like millions of users daily, and I had to take the decision. The CEO asked me, like, do what you think you have to do. So I had to take the decision to let go everyone at some point. So first some, and then the rest of the team. And basically we were alone. This backend developer and me, with a system that was really huge, and they had to run some millions of users. And I had no team. And I think the first day, second day, at night, the backend went down. some errors, and gone. And we had to solve it. And we had to build the team from the ground floor. We solved it, thanks to the backend developer. And we had to build the team from the ground floor, but at the same time, we needed to manage the whole thing running. And that took like around 6 months. It was very, 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 very hard, very tough, because any moment the system could go down, was unstable. Backups were not ready because the previous team didn't do a backup for like 10 years. So it was like really, really hard. And what I learned from that is that when you are pushed to the wall, you are more capable than you think so on doing many things. And I lost fear to anything. It's like, just don't fear anything anymore, because that was extreme. And then we were hiring people little by little that they were as resilient as we. That was the key point. It wasn't like how much you know. It was like, hey, can you really face all these problems that we had? And they were. And so that's basically one of the hardest things that I did. Is
amazing story. I think I experienced something similar. I lost the fear, and after that, the things become so easy. Like
yes.
I had similar situation, but it's I can relate to that. So
yes, because there is a moment that you realize that everything is solvable. You know, even the hardest thing, you can really get around that, and you can really go and solve it. And yeah, it's something that you learn. You have to experience like you did. Can no one tell you, like, till you don't live it and your palms are sweating because nothing works. That's the when you pass this moment, the rest is okay.
And the last question that I wanted to ask you, are there any books, resources, conferences, I don't know, podcasts, whatever was really beneficial for you in your career as a tech leader, that you had those aha moment after, reading those or, learning from those?
Yes, so I would say that in terms of books, I love literature. I thought it's a hobby. And I would say to the people, you need to read philosophy, and I would say read Seneca if you can, because Seneca is telling the stories of giving advice to people that are having very hard times, how to deal with them. One thing is to read it, one thing is to live it, of course, but it helps. And there is a book by Ayn Rand, The Fountainhead, which tells the story, and I recommend it to everyone to read it. It's an architect which has completely different ideas of what is going on right now in New York, and it fights through all the established thinking, and he goes with his ideas, hiring people to work with him based on pure talent and personalities, and it's the value of a person. More than you have a lot of value, you can bring it, just go with it because it's there. And in terms of podcasts, I listen a lot of health related podcasts, and I would say Peter Attia is a doctor in the US that talks all things health, and I love running, so doing hard things, I think running can become very hard sometimes, and listening to the health helped me to perform much better, because you are aware of your health and you are very comfortable with yourself. and then basically you really can perform way better. So educate yourself about health as much as you can. Of course, we are not doctors, but it helps a lot, I think.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much for all the tips and recommendations. It was a pleasure to talk to you today, Jose.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Follow Matt on LinkedIn and subscribe to the Better Tech Leadership newsletter.